It's pretty serious.
All right, fellas, if you wouldn't mind, give me your first and last names, please, or first names is fine.
Uh, what about the middle name?
That's it, though.
Anything you want to give.
Adolphus counts.
And Gary counts.
Awesome. You guys related? You guys know each
Yeah.
other? You guys
I've seen him somewhere.
seen him around
Yeah, I've seen him before.
how are you guys related?
That's my dad.
Is your dad?
Yep,
All right.
yep, that's my dad.
So, Dad, did you move him here?
I moved him here.
All right. And when was this?
That was around 1967, somewhere in there. He was 3 years old when we came here, so it was about 67. He was 3.
All right. Well, you didn't know anything about it when you were 3, but later, growing up here, how'd you feel about it?
Oh, it was a great neighborhood. We had a sense of community. You knew everybody in the neighborhood. It was just a wonderful environment to be in and grow up in, and everybody cared about each other in the neighborhood. You knew all your neighbors. You've been in their homes. They'd come by and visit. You go by and visit. We had a field down there. We remember one time we played softball, even the parents. So it was everybody playing. My mom played, and she was non-athletic, I thought, until I saw her out there, but she was actually pretty good.
Well, my family had expanded, and I was living in a 2-bedroom house at that time, and I needed a larger house. So that's what brought me here, is looking for a larger house. Well, yeah, the neighborhood was nice back then. I guess it's still nice. It was 2 black here when we moved here. Brenda Kane was one, and Mrs. William was the other one. And I was about the 3rd one that moved in the neighborhood. But it was nice. Well, really, it hasn't been too much change in here. There's been a building or 2 put up since I live here, but other than the changes, it still looks practically the same as it did when we moved here. So it's been kept up fairly well, yes.
All right. Well, from a kid to adult perspective, how does the neighborhood seem different to you, or if at all? Like you're not running up and down the alleys anymore.
Not run up and down the streets anymore. We used to play basketball at the park down there. That's changed somewhat. Everybody from not only this community but other communities will come over to Buckner and we play basketball. Now they have it closed where you can't even get in anymore. So after school hours. So that's a change that I've seen. Trying to think of what else I've seen. Some of the houses, I don't know if they're as well kept as what they were, but things change, people change. So I see a rental sign here. I didn't see any of that when I was growing up. So I remember I was in the 2nd grade, and my dad, who worked at Boeing, they sent him to Guam. So he was there for 7 months, and that was a really tough experience for me growing up. But I remember while he was gone, he was sitting in the sun on the beach, and we got the biggest snowstorm ever here, and we couldn't go anywhere. And I remember, my brother and sister, we were there, and my mom, and we couldn't get out. You couldn't go anywhere. So the men in the community, they walked to the grocery store and got groceries and stuff for the people who needed those. So, I mean, it was just, I don't know if you see that anymore.
We lived in that 3rd house down there, and I understand that the snow was up to the eave of the house. It so much snow on that particular year. And which I was glad I was in Guam at that time.
I mean, I remember when I played baseball and we'd practice at the school ground at Buckner, and one time our coach wasn't able to make it, so my dad came up there and substituted. I mean, it was just a strong sense of community. You knew everyone. I mean, it was just, I wouldn't change it for the world. So.
Well, really, I know, things don't stay the same, and really, I don't know if there's anything that I could think that I would do, make a change in it. I just know things just don't stay the same,
Because everything that was, when I was here, it's still here. I mean, all the homes are still here. The church is still here down the street. The schools are still here. I don't know if they have this sense of community that we had, but everything is still here that we had growing up.
That's what I'm kind of getting the feeling of.
Yeah.
Like you're talking about like Buckner and the elementary
Right.
closing early and that kind of being kind of like, oh,
Right. Right, right.
Do you think maybe that's what the difference is? Is like, there's less people on their front porches, less people in their yards talking to each other, getting to know each other, opening their doors to each other?
That's how my neighborhood is now.
Well, that's what
we
I
don't
mean,
have
like,
a sense.
that's like across the board
Yeah,
now.
the sense of the community we don't have now. I know a couple of neighbors, but I don't know nearly as many people as I did while I was here. We were always on the porch. People would come sit and talk and visit. It was just different. And I don't know if it was their upbringing, coming from the South, where they had a strong sense of community in the town that he came from. So I think everybody just grew that way.